You're listening to another Woodshop podcast, the okayest podcast of its type. Your hosts are Daniel Dunlap of Daniel Dunlap Woodworks, Peter Kapar of Petrie's Workshop, and am I reading this right? You guys are bringing this guy in as a third host? There goes the podcast.
Welcome to episode 201 of another Woodshop podcast, where we find ourselves in a little bit of a weird place with a stage 5 clinger, 200 episodes together, and Dan and I thought bringing a baby into this podcast would be the way to save the marriage. 33 years ago, a Tijuana vasectomy didn't take, and now we have a new permanent host, and we wouldn't have it any other way. What is up? The crew is finally complete. We got the AWP boys all together, hopefully permanently, given that this thing sticks.
What was that?
Oh, the vasectomy? It's like a
Tijuana vasectomy. If I had known that's why you were asking my age, I would have done this. I wouldn't change anything.
You should know that I do fact accurate intros, okay?
Dad?
It didn't stick, and they love you very much.
Question, you need to be asking, why are you asking this question?
I need to be on my guard way more than I am around you guys.
I just know facts.
Better.
You need to ask your father for questions. 4 questions? Questions. I don't know. You know who else has questions?
Probably our patrons.
There we go.
I would imagine. They probably have all sorts of questions. Like, hey,
when
are you guys going to do that Patreon call?
Oh,
I'd say someday, soon.
You guys want to sort it out right now?
Just live on the air.
Live on the air? I don't know. Dan, why don't you start reading off our patrons, all the new patrons that we have. And if we have enough new patrons, we'll schedule the call for this week.
Well, I got bad news for you. We don't have any new patrons.
Dan.
So close.
Why am I the guy that's like in charge of that? Dan.
Oh, we're gonna have to push the patron call back. But honestly, like, let's have it in May.
It's gonna be May.
Is May technically already.
It is.
It is technically May. It's May 2nd.
Maynards.
Yes.
Big money.
Speaking of Maynards, I want to give a huge shout out to all of our VIP patrons.
I love those guys.
They go above and beyond to help us out what we do here, and we appreciate them, as we do all our patrons. But we appreciate our VIPs just a little bit more, a little bit.
They're the nardiest of the Mays.
This is true. So our VIP patrons are John Herbolsheimer of Living Lath Woodworks, Luke Bosworth of Luke Bosworth, Jared LaPuma, Tyler Booth of Temecula Yard Games, Henry Luton, Scotty Holland of Elevated Wood, Charlie Coons from Stubby K Studio, Justin Frazier from Frazier Canyon Woodworks, Jesse McIntyre from Sage Hill Woodcraft, Michael from Gillette Woodworks, Victor Aragama from Whim Designs, not Nick Brim from Nick Brim Woodworking.
He almost had me there.
Got him.
Max Reed, and I guess also Alyssa too, from Reed Design Co. Matt Maynard of Patriotic Pines, Bill Burkle from WTB Woodworking, Malcolm at Bossa Nova Woodworks, Justin Addy at Calvary Customs. Congrats on 200 episodes, Dan and Pete. We love you. And maybe Braden too. From Patrick Gensel. Scott Shirk.
That was good.
From Red Lake Custom Woodworks. Matt and Mindy Coons from Stubby K Studio, and Justin Bailey from Campfire Woodworks.
That was great.
Thank you to all of our patrons. We appreciate all of really help us keep this ship afloat, and we're selling around the world currently. If you want to join the Meh Army, you can go over to patreon.com/anotherwoodshop podcast and get signed up over there, where we have all sorts of things.
Like our Patreon call.
Yeah, we're definitely going to do soon.
And goodie bags.
Definitely.
How does Sunday the 26th of May sound to you guys?
That sounds
okay to me.
I don't...
Hold on.
6 p.m. Eastern on a Sunday?
God, why do we do everything in Eastern?
We're doing it live. 7 or technically 5 p.m. Eastern for you guys.
May 26th.
May 26th. That is a Sunday.
The Sunday before Memorial Day.
Exactly the Sunday.
So we
before
can get
Memorial Day.
loose. We can get a little.
Although
loose.
you know what? No. That's gonna be a bad one because people are probably gonna be attending barbecues and things. Maybe that's not. Maybe what about the weekend before that?
The 19th.
The 19th, possibly.
I could do that. I could pull that off.
That's gonna be tentative. I think right now the 19th is looking good. What you know what? Why don't I do this? I'm gonna throw a poll up on not a me on a.
Oh,
on
okay. Yeah,
Patreon.
that was the question I had.
So
I was
we'll
like, wait a minute.
we'll either do it on is it adding insult to injury to have it on June 2nd? It's Mike Coffey's birthday. Well, I mean, he's not a patron. He can't be there. Well, I think either the 19th or the 2nd.
I think the sooner the better.
winners.
People have been waiting. The people have been waiting.
Well,
a
the
long
12th is
time.
Mother's Day, and
Well, yeah. What's wrong
we're
with
all
the 19th?
daddies, so you know, wouldn't really be the best. But yeah, we'll throw that out to the patrons. You guys can decide what day and time works best for you. Sorry, Adam Barnett. Wednesday at 4 p.m. or whatever you usually recommend
out.
will
That's
not
out.
work.
I'm actually free then.
I'm actually free. And so is Dan.
I can make that work.
But
I mean, I could make it
other
work, but I don't
patrons-
want to.
Yeah, well, it'll be the three of us with one patron. Adam, he's like, I'm just happy to be here. Well, we'll figure it out. We'll have all you guys on a call.
There you
We're
go.
gonna have a grand old time. And honestly, I think one of the best ways to have a grand old time in your shop is to upgrade your CNC with a PwnCNC spindle. Yo! So our sponsor
Couldn't
this
agree
week.
more.
Heyo.
So our sponsor this week is PwnCNC. They have the all-in-one spindle kit that we all actually got on our machines. Mine's actually sitting right next to my machine, still has to get installed. But I inspected and I'm like, this is so much better than
Yeah,
Did you
I bought
smell
off
it?
Amazon.
It smells good. It smells
Oh, I
good.
didn't take a hit. No.
You
Dang
you
it.
didn't get that. You didn't get that
Smells
new spindle hit.
I didn't even take
Like-
it out of the bag, man. I want that hit. I want it right before I install it. I don't
Yeah,
want to
you gotta
forget
do that.
about it, you know? So
Forget about it.
they have the all-in-one systems. They're great. You don't have to solder anything. It's plug and play. I had to do electrical and soldering, and I'm one thing I'm bad at, it's soldering, and I'm really thankful that they have the all-in-one kit. But what better way to show some love to your CNC than to upgrade it and give it some flair? Go check out PwnCNC for all their awesome accessories, dust boots, CNC spindles, auto tool changers, and it's just the best way to, as they say, don't just own your CNC, dominate it, because the pwned, they pwned
Dominate.
you, like P apostrophe owned, they owned you. But all the accessories are great. They have a lot of support on their site. They have a whole forum, and their people are standing by to answer your questions. So if you have any questions, hit them up and use code AWP at checkout for, I think it's a 5% discount. And then they'll see that we drove traffic, and then they'll be like, oh, those guys aren't that bad, so that helps us out. So definitely
Help our sponsors. Help us.
help
It's
them,
worth
help
it's
us.
worth tolerating these guys' personality because they drive sales.
Yeah. So definitely go check them out if you want to upgrade your CNC and give it some flair. And
That is correct.
that is correct.
I
Rocket.
love my spindle. The plug and play aspect, if anybody needs some perspective on that, I did it at midnight by myself alone, and mine works. So that's how easy it is.
Oh, he was all by himself.
Right.
All by
And I had my
myself.
brother come over just in case, but I didn't need him. I mean, it was so easy. Even a Dan can do it. Even a
Just
Dan
had
can
an
do it.
emotional support brother with him. So
Correct.
whether you do it by yourself or with an emotional support friend or family member, you can do it. And if you can't, well, they've got that support page too. So, go hit them up. But Dan, you know what else can be hit up?
Our patrons.
No,
No,
I
We're
hold
just
on.
going
did that,
back
so now
now.
I'm
Wait a
confused.
minute. Wait a minute.
My
Our
gears are spinning.
bench? I don't know. I'm not going anywhere. But yeah, first of all, in case you guys missed it, it's episode 201. We had the big 200 last week. If you're watching a video on our YouTube channel right now, I got the AWP 200 glasses that Patrick Gensel wore last week on the live. And it's where we announced that Braden Boakes of Little Bug Woodworking is going to be our third permanent host. We just vibe with each other, and we wanted someone that would just click, and it would be an easy kind of, it doesn't feel like we're shoehorning someone in.
Easily slid right in.
Easily
you know what
slid. Yeah, he's real lubed up boy. He fits
He's got
right
that
in.
Astro Glide.
Yeah. And like he's on a podcast and we're like, whoa, when did he get here? It just feels like he's been part of the family the whole time.
Like
we're
peanut butter and
describing
teriyaki.
Yeah, we're describing this poorly. Or like
That's
peanut
actually
butter
pretty
and
good.
celery, which is also
Mm,
pretty good. But
that
you
is
wouldn't
pretty
think
good.
they'd be good together. But look at us now. So I just want to officially welcome him. His probation period is up next week. So as long as he doesn't slip up, no infidelities, no stock insider stock trading, and you can stay in office.
So does that mean I can't buy more or I can't sell more AWP stock?
You have
Yes.
to buy high, sell low. That's how me and Dan are staying in
naturally.
business. That's how Dan's paying for rims.
Is that how I don't have any money? Is that why?
All I know
honey.
is
Oh, wait, I have to flip this paper upside down. Oh no, oh, the instructions are opposite.
all I know is my Dan coin is doing better than my Doge coin. So
Oh, true,
Oh,
dude.
that ain't
True.
bad.
Don't even get me started on crypto and all that stuff right now, because I was under the impression that after the Bitcoin halving, we were all going to be rich, and that is the opposite of what I'm experiencing right now.
it's weird. I'm
But this
still
isn't
buying
this isn't a
Menard brand
crypto
mayo.
podcast, so
All right, if you want to grow in a crypto world,
bro.
don't follow us, bro.
Wall
do
Wall
not.
Street bets. I just
Wall
do
Street
whatever
bets.
the hot post of the day is on Wall Street
Wall
bets.
Street
on
bets.
Reddit.
That's how you make tens of dollars in a negative.
You
hey,
invest all of
they
your
were
money.
like one of the first ones to like point out the whole GameStop thing. So
Yep. Well,
they're not
yeah.
always wrong.
Yeah,
Well,
but
I mean-
Dan, you're also still drinking, a beer with us on a podcast while working every day in your shop. So it's not like you made out like a bandit.
No,
just
I didn't make any
maybe-
money on the GameStop thing. Unfortunately,
I think
I
we
was
all
like, this
jumped
is a
on it
joke,
like a
right?
day late. But yeah, speaking of losing tons of money, guys, what's on your bench today? Or actually, before we get into that, I should probably do the
Yeah,
thing
you
that
gotta
makes
do
the
the
sound.
thing. What's on my bench?
So, Dan, in the spirit of you already talking, Braden, what's on your bench?
Thank you.
I've got a lot going on.
Here we go.
Fantastic.
Oh,
I
he
know.
already
Here-
started. He just got here.
we
He's
go.
already
Here
got
we
a
go.
full
I've got
bench.
I've been adding this list together for the last like 6 months because I knew this was going to happen one day. I was going to wear you down. So I've got 6 months of bench to talk about.
All right,
Nope.
great. I'm gonna take a nap. Is that
6
cool?
fiscal calendar days. That's it. That's all you're getting.
All right. Fine.
You're not a
I
guest. You can't
have-
talk about the last month.
I actually have a couple of things. So I've talked about like my shift into small scale manufacturing, a lot of like corporate branding stuff. I'm really putting my laser to work. And so I have I've got a job that I just actually got the deposit on today where I'm importing some stuff and laser branding it with a company's logo. So I have 400 units of these guys. You guys may remember them from last year, these little puzzle boxes that I did.
Yeah.
I've got 400 of them.
I couldn't figure out how to open it. I gave up. I threw it out.
Well, if you throw it against the wall hard enough, it opens.
I'm not Dan. I don't try to fix things with a hammer. Okay.
Mallet. Thank you.
I'm so mallet. I'm sorry. Technical term.
But I've got 400 of those that I'm going to be laser engraving as soon as they show up. So that started. This is also my first like wholesale order from like a warehouse in China. So a little hesitant about how that process is going to go, but it should be fine.
You mean you didn't buy each box from a bespoke shop on Etsy?
I did not. I
That
did not.
bespoke shop on Etsy would have bought them from the same place Braden bought them from.
Oh, is it Temu?
So that's the thing. These last year they ordered them from Amazon, and I literally just like reversed image searched and I found the sweatshop that's making them. And I was like, oh hey, I could just cut out the middle person on Etsy and I could be my own middle person.
There you go.
And I am. So
That's the best way to do it.
I'm handling all the logistics and all the supply chain stuff. So
I just
that'll be
wanna
interesting.
say you might not want to talk about being in the middle in this podcast. Malcolm does do
Is
our
that Malcolm's
intros.
thing? That's
Yeah,
right.
it's
That is Malcolm's thing.
I don't. I just don't want you to overstep. You're still new here, so you don't know the rules.
yeah.
I became
We don't
my
we don't
own-
upset Malcolm around here.
I
Yeah, yeah.
became the slightly to the left person but still betwixt.
Malcolm
I like
owns
it.
the middle.
He is firmly in the middle. Don't ask him about
Um,
politics. That's going to be a long conversation.
Not
Firmly in the
middle.
middle.
Not at all. But so I've got that. I have I've got some planter boxes that I'm going to start on this weekend because I can't keep blaming tornadoes on why I haven't started.
I mean,
them.
it's a very good excuse though. I've used it a number of times, even though we've only had one. So
the
I mean, don't get it twisted. He did use it for a couple of days as an excuse.
The client did.
I
That was
see what you
fun.
did there.
Thank you
I
for
see what you did.
catching it.
I like it. The client did text me and ask when I was going to start them last Friday before everything got bad. And I was like, oh, I'm going to start them this weekend, depending on the weather. And then houses were leveled. I'm like, hey, the weather didn't really cooperate.
So
I'm
what
gonna
you
start
need to
this
do
weekend."
is go help long enough to get some pictures of you helping, and then be like, "I've been spending all my time helping," and then like,
So were
Only-
you
only stay
texting
there
that
for the photo
customer
op?
about how you have to delay their work from the car to the Chinese place while the storms were happening, or was it driving back with the sushi from the Asian market while the storms were ravaging Nebraska? Was that when you were texting the customer?
No, I think this was after. This was after.
Oh, this was
that.
after when
Day
you were
after.
home, full belly, full of sushi, with your house totally fine.
Yep,
Okay, just
that's
checking.
exactly when that happened.
Okay, yeah, it was real minor inconvenience.
Bus
Listen,
meet Braden.
I was hungry and nothing was going to stop that. I was like a bear scrounging before hibernation.
Well, tell me this: was the sushi bussin'?
It was bussin'.
Then you know what? I'll allow it.
Speaking of
I-
bears, answer me this one question: bear
8
or the
inches.
man?
Bears or beets? Or
Oh, do I-
Battlestar
Bear or the
Galactica?
man?
Oh, do I rather be?
Yeah,
In
have
the
you not
woods
seen
with-
that trend on
Yeah,
TikTok?
yeah, I've seen it. Braden's not on TikTok.
I'm
Oh,
not on Tik-
man,
I'm not on
what the heck?
TikToks.
Okay,
I don't know.
bear. Give me the bear. I feel like it
Beets.
could be cuddly. I'm sorry, I didn't
Beets.
mean to take over Braden's what's on my bench. Keep
No,
going.
now I want to know what this is. Tell me about this bear bench.
There's no bear bench.
Well, now I'm confused.
Is a bench made out of a bear, or is it a bench for bears?
Bears, beets.
Battlestar
Black bear.
Galactica.
Black bears are best.
All right, so planter boxes that are getting delayed due to inclement weather. Okay.
Yep. Inclement weather. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I've been testing out Vectrix V12. They've got like the inlay button that basically does all the toolpaths for you. So I've been messing with that.
I
If
need to
you
find
guys-
time to do that. That looks cool.
It doesn't even take time. It's so easy. It's like one button push. So if you guys see an Etsy
Wait,
shop
I
that
don't have
pops up-
time for.
That's a
button
lie. That's not
pushes.
what you said in the chat.
Okay, it's 2 button pushes and one number that you have to type in.
Now you're
yeah.
getting out of hand.
If you guys see an Etsy shop that pops up called Three Moose Design, it's not me. But yeah, that's
Oh,
that's what
I
I'm
get it.
working on.
It's you. You were winking. I get
It's
it.
me.
Yeah.
It's me. I was implying that it was me.
It's not copyright infringement if they didn't copyright it.
That's right. They copyright. They copyright.
Isn't that technically a trademark?
Nobody can
it
copyright
reserved?
animal plurals, okay?
Okay.
I think that's the proper term here.
You can't own the water.
Say
Whatever,
That,
Nestle.
so that's a big ice. Well, speaking of big
Okay.
ice, Dan,
Speaking of
what's
big
on your
ice.
bench?
Look,
Conversation dying instantly. Dan, what's on your bench?
Know what's on my bench.
Oh,
Okay.
put that on a t-shirt and sell it.
Yeah, that's exactly why I said it, because you guys told me I need to put a t-shirt, and that's actually a good idea.
Now available at DanielDunlapWoodworks.com.
If that was a thing,
But
it is
delivery
actually.
is like 6 months to get it.
Yeah, bite me. So I was backed up on orders quite a bit, but I've been staying awake late the last several nights and working until the wee hours of the morning, even though I don't like to do it. Sometimes you kind of got to do it to keep your business afloat.
And now he's still backed up on orders.
Well, yeah, I'm still backed up. I'm grateful for that. I think last week my orders got up to like 84 orders in the queue last week, and I had probably 30 something that were overdue. Right now I'm sitting at 37 orders in the queue and 16 are overdue. So I'm making strides.
I thought you were about to say 37 were overdue, like more were now overdue.
No,
No,
you're
I'm
doing
trying
okay.
I'm trying
Still
to
at the
keep
same
ahead.
number.
So a couple of things that are overdue. What's overdue currently are all my bigger projects, and by bigger I mean it just takes more time.
Tried making them
Excuse me.
smaller.
No, I'm talking about
Pocket
like
sized.
small side tables. I'm not talking about ZCIs and bow ties. Those don't take a whole lot of time. So I got like 5 tables I need to make, and a bed, and 3 bar stools, and they're all overdue. So I gotta find time to do that. What sucks about the bed is, I mean, it's great that I got that order. What sucks is it takes up a lot of room. So I'm trying to hold off on getting that complete until
Did they demand a refund?
well, until they demand a refund. But I've already talked to the person. They really don't need it until June, so that actually works out well. It's just overdue according to Etsy.
According to the man.
Right.
Freaking Etsy.
So I got a high school kid coming to work for me a little bit part-time over the summer when
And
school
it's
gets out.
not your kids.
It's not my kids. No.
You found another kid.
Found another kid. He's a child of a friend, so I know who he is. It won't be that awkward ish. It might get a little awkward when he sees me
Working with Dan, it's gonna get awkward.
Dan working with Dan with a high schooler in the shop during the summer. It's gonna get awkward somehow.
Look, this is gonna be the best job this kid's ever had. I'm gonna be honest.
Oh, yeah, this is already warming up to be like a sitcom. I'm just imagining Dan constantly trying to prove to the kid that he's cool, but the kid is just having none
and then
of
I
it.
still got it.
Yeah.
Hey, you know how I've got these 2 kids? Yeah, I'm having sex. No, really, I am.
And then the teenager's like, "Are you proposing to me?" And you'd be like, "No!" And then he's all nervous and stuff. And then the crowd laughs because it's a sitcom. Get a laugh track, Dan.
There's a laugh track. Yeah.
I
I should just get one that plays in the background.
What valuable life lessons are you going to teach this kid at the end of every 30 minutes?
I don't know. That remains to be seen. I'm taking applications for good writers, so send them to Petrie's Workshop at gmail.com.
Oh, thank you for remembering. Dan, make sure that when you make one-liners or if there's an awkward situation, you look over to like a camera that's not there and be like,
I have shop cameras, so yeah, I will.
But like just like look over somewhere like, oh, I don't know. And then just
make the Jim Halpert face.
Record B-roll in front of like just sitting in a chair, like by the CNC. Just be like, while the CNC's running too, just be like, you can't hear it because the machine's running.
Anyway, my goal is to have him do all the remedial stuff, like making ZCIs and bow ties and stuff that doesn't take a whole lot of brains because I've already got it kind of streamlined. It's just a matter of showing him how to do it, how to run everything, how to set everything up, so that I could work on the bigger, more complex projects and maybe call him over to help if I need it, like the beds and stuff. Because I do want to do more furniture, because as much as I like making ZCI money, ZCIs don't really stretch that creative muscle. So I'm looking forward to that.
Passion.
I'm really looking forward to it. No, it doesn't really ignite a creative passion.
I mean, we tried to get you to stretch your creative muscle a little bit. We tried to sign up for we were successful in signing up for the Maker Collab project, and then we
put that all on me.
And then we all 3 just immediately forgot that we had those emails as soon as we got our $15 shipping credits.
Did we get a credit for that?
$15 to not pirate ship. So I have no idea where it is. I'm not setting up another account.
No.
Oh,
it's
man.
too much work.
Yeah, we haven't done anything for the Maker Collab. We're the worst. I think that's pretty much it for me. Not a whole lot. Oh, I bought some like much like Braden did.
Tchotchkes and knickknacks.
I bought some tchotchkes and knickknacks and paddywhacks. I bought some
wallets.
Wallets. They're like money clip wallets, but they have anodized aluminum on the outside, and I think some of them even have walnut on them. And I don't know if they're wallets. I don't know what the actual name of them is.
Like card holders.
It's like, yeah, it's a card holder / money clip, but
It's a total
it's a-
like Ridge wallet knockoff.
oh yeah,
We've all seen
absolutely,
that
it's a Ridge
commercial,
wallet knockoff, but they're
The Raj
blank, so
wallet.
I can laser them. So I put some of those up on Etsy, and right away somebody, and this person listens to the podcast, so thank you very much, ordered 9 customized versions. So
Was it
that's
the
pretty cool.
Jeeple? One of the
Yeah,
Jeeple?
yeah, we the Jeeple.
We the
Those-
Jeeple.
Those Jeepsters.
Jeep
They got,
people.
they
you
got
know
more
what I'm
money.
saying?
They got more money than sense. And
I'm
I say that
surprised he could read that listing because it was written in Japanese.
Okay.
So,
wow wow.
Oh, you guys laughed at the joke earlier.
No, the listing wasn't for Jeep people. It was it's just we the people. It's a very rednecky America like thing. I just wanted to see if I could sell some. So
Does the product description have the word yeehaw in it anywhere?
no, but it definitely should. I did put
You gotta hit the SEOs.
That SEO,
I did
man.
put Patriot and all that other stuff in the tags. So trying to get all those.
Try the hashtag setting money on fire. You'll get a lot of Jeep owners.
Peter
Yes.
Kapar.
Hey, that's me. He said my name.
You want to?
Yeah, I'm famous like Ma. I'm on a podcast.
Talk and do stuff.
I will talk and do stuff. So, in the beginning of me talking about stuff, I'm going to talk about what I'm working on right now, which is figuring out what I did this week. I'm working on the ice climbing tools this week, which has been insane because it's been like 80 degrees here in Jersey.
Well, you did show a different tool, like you're making something else.
so there's
Don't
two.
call-
There's the
don't
original.
call Patrick a tool.
That's Patrick Gensel. He's a patron. So there's two styles. The original one it's called the dry ice tool, and it's essentially a handle out of that's cut out of 1-inch Baltic birch, and it has a leather strap, which is actually, this material is really cool. It's conveyor belt rubber material, so it's rubber with fabric like strewn through the whole thing, and it's like crazy strong. So that's the ones for like use them in most regular gyms. If there's a jug handle big enough, like really scoop your whole hand over, you can actually use that tool to practice as if you're training for ice climbing, because it's a different muscle group they're using. The other ones are the dry ice Evo evolution tools. They kind of look like an ice pick. That's the ones I've been doing the most lately. So if anyone's missed this, I do this for a buddy of mine. It's this company. It's called Furnace Industries. Name doesn't really relate to ice climbing, but that's the name of the company. I'm not gonna listen. I'm Petrie's Workshop. Who am I to judge? Dan Dunlap. I mean, come on. But
Daniel, thank you very much. Sounds
Daniel,
more
I'm
professional.
sorry. I didn't mean to abbreviate it.
Dan
But-
is his father.
My father.
I don't
was
know my father's
Daniel.
name. I'm gonna be honest.
Oh damn, that got sad.
Aw,
Now you all feel like jerks.
Now we're
I
all
love it.
sad.
I rarely do, but I do now.
Now. So this, I'm doing this for a buddy of mine, and he pays me money to do it. I'm not just doing it out of the goodness of my heart. And at this point, it's a running joke of like, I hate doing these, but in reality, it's like it's money, and I've really dialed into the system.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's monotonous, but it's money, right?
It's money. Like the last couple of weeks, I could have not felt any more like Dan does like every day. It's like the same thing over and over again. But the kind of the weird coincidence or something that's happened because of this is like, because I started doing this more consistently, it happens a couple times a year. I have now a network of like now 3 people to reach out to and be like, hey, you want to come and pick up some hours in the shop? And like, I'll just pay you to help me out in the shop today, you know? And one of those people is actually Patrick Gensel that we mentioned. Like he's about an hour, 10 hour, 15 from me.
Let me get this straight. He's paying us $20 a month to be a VIP patron.
Yep.
And you're paying him.
Yep.
So
and I'm
like
paying him. And then so by the transitive property, I'm paying for this membership. You should
And
read my
then-
name at the beginning of the podcast.
Mercury
Well, we did this last week.
cross-graded with
Mercury's in a microwave. Uranus is in a microwave. So
science.
I have a couple people that come in. My buddy Jake, a good friend of mine, that's a woodworker. JV
Khakis?
Woodworks. Yeah, khaki. Yes. Jake, he's heard all the jokes. So he's been coming in to help me out for a while now. My neighbor Joe has been coming in, and now Patrick. So like I have like I have employees part-time coming in, which is weird. I've never had
They're
someone
not
work.
They're not full-time employees,
No.
Mr. IRS.
Yeah, they're helping me out, and it's less. They're not.
I don't know how that works.
I
I'm
don't
just
know,
trying to help
whatever.
Pete.
I know, but the thing is, like, I've never had someone come in more than like one time to my shop and like work for me. Technically, it's weird, but it's cool. I like it. Like, it's really, it's exciting because it's like it's the whole concept of body doubling. You get more fired up. You get more.
It
work
motivates
done.
you to work harder, right?
Absolutely
Yeah.
does. I think it's a great thing, and I used to rely on like Emma coming in the shop, just hanging out with me and working on a project with me or alongside me, because it got me motivated to not, just F around on my phone for an hour randomly while I'm like picking up tools and putting them away, and then before I know it, I'm like, why am I
Yep.
holding this set of pliers? Like,
When I'm by
across from my
myself,
shop?
I justify that by like, this is part of my job. This is what I do. I'm a content creator. So
Yeah.
I sit on my phone for like an hour and a half, 2
Well, we're
hours.
not content consumers.
I can't create it until I consume it first.
Yeah,
I
you gotta
gotta
consume it.
I gotta find the trends.
He was
Says
trending.
the guy who hasn't posted a reel in 2 weeks.
Yeah, so
Guilty.
yeah, guilty as well. So it's cool though. It's cool because it's you're starting to see like, wow, this is what it's going to be like. I could potentially have people on payroll, because I used to, in my brain for the longest time, I was like, this is years ago, like, how would I ever own a business? How would I ever own a business? This is crazy. Like, I could never own a business. This is pre Peter's Workshop. This is like 2014 Peter. Then I have this, and then for the longest time it's been like, I could never, like, I can't even support myself. How can I support another person? And now it's like, oh, I'm like seeing it now. Okay, this is cool.
Right.
There's potential for growth here. Like, so it's really nice. But anyways, I'm knocking these out. This is the most organized I've ever been. I have stations set up, like one for assembly, one for routing, one for sanding, for rough sanding, one for finish sanding, lasering, and then like there's one of them takes assembly at the end. And my shop is still usable for the most part. Obviously, I can't use all the major tools, but I can walk through it. It's not a complete mess. Like, every time I do these, I just get more and more like defined with my goals. So it's been really nice. So it's a long way to say, like, I finally got this dialed in, and there's some good stuff happening. But what's causing some stress in my life right now is that I'm having to say no to a lot of people, because I talked about this, I think 2 weeks ago. Like, we got a kid on the way, and I'm gonna lose my best employee, Emma, like, who helps me out with a lot of my admin stuff. Like, she's still gonna be able to help me out, but not as regularly as right now. And I literally cannot do this without her anymore. I've gotten to the point where I rely on her so much that if she's gone, if that person's gone, my whole business is falling apart.
You're not going to give her any kind of maternal leave, are you?
No way. No.
Yeah, well,
Back to work
then-
the next day.
Yeah, you got to keep.
She might quit. I don't know. Yeah, we'll see.
I don't know. That's going to be awkward for the marriage.
So, like, I'm having to say no to people, and even some regulars that are coming back. Like, hey, can you do me another batch of like some smaller? Like, can you cut me a couple of these? Like, no, or you're gonna have to wait. Like, I don't have time right now. Like, my laser's set up with a jig for engraving these things, because I have to engrave all these ice cleaving tools. So, like, I'm turning away work. I'm at a point where I'm saying, like, hey, I know we talked about working on this in the future. It's not happening. Like, I'm saying no to like all these one-offs, because
So are you referring this business out to like somewhere else?
some of it I
or-
am. Whatever I can, yes. But a lot of it is like local people reaching out to me like, hey, I have a cool idea. Or like, hey, could you do this? I physically can.
I did something like that this week with Braden. Actually, I got a email for a custom dog kennel. And I was like, "There's just no way, Braden. Do you want this?" And he goes, "Yeah." So I sent it to Braden.
She has not responded.
I've been thinking about this. So there's something, every year we go to Workbench Con, we have some good takeaways, and every year we have some takeaway. And I had one that didn't really hit me until probably like 2 weeks ago. And that is, you don't have to be a full-time woodworker. You don't have to be doing this like as a business as well. If you're trying to maybe do content and maybe you have some production stuff on the back end, like even like Drew Witt. I hate to even mention him, but I'm wearing Drew Witt underwear right now. Go check out his shop. So
Hey, we
Drew
ain't
Witt-
to that segment yet. Calm down.
so like Drew Witt creates great content. He's been pushing that a lot. He's really been leaning into it. But he also makes 3D printed products. But he doesn't he's not a furniture maker for hire. And I think that's great, actually. Like, it shows you that you can do that. Same thing. I talked to Scotty, I talked to Suman, I talked to all these content creators that like are woodworkers. They want to make cool stuff, they want to make it for themselves, and they want to make content around what they do. And I'm like, that's literally what I've been wanting to do for the longest time. But I kept getting myself into this pigeonhole of like, I can do anything. Let me take on everything. And it's just been getting out of hand. So I'm doing too many things and I'm having to dial back. And it kind of sucks because like I can do a lot of stuff. But honestly, it's not conducive to what I want to do in the future. So we're saying no to a lot of stuff. We're turning some business away, and that's okay. Basically, a long way to say that we're gonna refocus our business. And I'm a little stressed out right now, but I'm feeling good. So check back with me in 2 months.
I think that's a really important shift, going from being a maker that wants to start a business to pay for your tools and stuff like that. You say yes to everything. I mean, we've all done it. We say yes to everything. In fact, I think we talked about this the last time I was on, when I was a guest and actually treated with some respect, about
miscalculated
about specializing your shop versus being able to do everything. And I think that that's kind of an important step as you're growing a business. And it's one I'm going through. It's one you're going through. Dan has gone through it and now just lives on Etsy. But there's a time where you don't have the time, and it's not worth your time as a business owner or as a maker to learn and reset up and do everything unless you derive some sort of passion from it. And I've seen like Heath, he only does content around stuff or build stuff when it's something interesting to him, or if he can create interesting content around it. There's a point where you pivot and you just start to kind of specialize down, and that's where you can really, really maximize like your profitability. You can maximize your own stress levels. You can not maximize those, but you can kind of control them a little bit more because you're following a process that you've already developed. You're not having to learn how to do it. And that's where you get to start to dial in things like how many man hours does it take to do these jobs? And you can start quoting these things out better, and you can really improve your business.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like you have to look at your business once in a while and be like, does this make sense? Like, just because I'm making money, does this make sense? And if listen, if I had to do these ice climbing tools for the rest of my life, not for the rest, but if I was doing stuff like that kind of like heavy production work for the foreseeable future, and that could sustain my family, I'm quitting my job tomorrow. But it's not something that's going to be permanent. And also I have a kid on the way, so I don't know what the future holds. So there's that. But it's good to redefine, like look at your business and be like, do I want to do this? And sometimes it's, yeah, I do. I want to keep doing this. I want to keep doing, one-off custom work or fully custom work or just client work, or I just want to do production stuff or just Etsy, or I want to do wholesale stuff. And you never know. So it's fun to rediscover yourself. It's a little stressful, but I feel very fortunate to be in a situation where I can, and I say this often to justify my choices in the shop. It's like I could walk away from all of this at any point, and I owe no one nothing. I owe no one anything. I don't owe anyone anything. Like, obviously I'm not walking away from the podcast, but if I quit content, everything tomorrow, I don't have any debt on my shop. I don't owe anyone anything. I close up my Etsy shop and I just enjoy life. And I still have it and I can still make cool stuff. Like, what would I make if I didn't have to make content? And that's what made me think about oh, you know what? I'm going to redefine what I do. But that's kind of a long what's on the bench. Sorry, I didn't mean to get into a whole philosophical
remember
thing.
Before we hit record, you were like, I don't know what I'm gonna talk about for what's on my bench. I just been doing ice climbing tools.
And it gets into this existential thing of I
honestly,
gotta support a kid, and
my God,
Pete, we get it. You got a kid on the way.
I had a super stressful 2 weeks of just being hammered and really having to reevaluate my life. So I apologize for that.
Metaphorically hammered, not literally.
Hammered, not like Dan with a tool.
You weren't, you weren't permanently drunk.
Mallet.
No. Which also, Dan, you're so I'll throw it back to Dan.
Oh,
Dan,
yeah, did I talk about that?
Broke, and then you try to fix it with a hammer while I was on the phone with you.
I can't remember when that happened, and I can't remember if we talked about it on the podcast. But
last week doesn't exist.
Drum sander quit working unexpectedly, and I couldn't figure out what the hell was wrong. Right.
So you try to fix it with.
It was late at night. I'm super frustrated. Pete can tell I'm frustrated because I'm sending text messages to one of our chat groups, and he calls me right away. And he's like, "What's going on? Are you okay?" And I'm like, "I'm not okay. This is an integral part of my system, my shop. I need this." And he heard me pick up a mallet and start hitting the machine with the mallet. So that didn't work, shockingly enough, although it made me feel better. But Nick Brim ended up stopping at my shop the morning after, and
How early was he there?
I had to get up at 6 to meet him out there because he stopped there before he went to work.
Nick Brim, you're just a godsend.
And he told his boss that he was going to be late. And I don't know what the hell I would do without Nick Brim.
You don't deserve Nick Brim.
I do not deserve a Nick Brim.
Iowa doesn't deserve Nick Brim.
So he stops by. He figured out what was wrong. Basically, long story short, the drum sander itself on the Laguna 2550. I don't know how it is for the 1938 or any of the other ones, but on the 2550, the drum sander itself plugs into the belt conveyor, and then the belt conveyor plugs into the wall.
That's actually very common on a lot of these. I don't know why it's designed that way.
It does that because
I have a Ryobi.
I found out why it does that.
Okay.
It does that because at least on the Laguna 2550, it has what they call IntelliSense or an IntelliSanding.
Yeah.
And it can feel the where it can regulate the pull of the electricity from the drum and tell if it's struggling too much, it'll slow down the belt.
Probably like a voltage drop off sense or
exactly.
Sensor or
so
it like
won't overload the circuit and pop a breaker. So
pop your breaker.
Basically what we did was we just bypassed that plug and we just plugged it into the wall. It's working now. I have a new part on order. Actually, it's already arrived. I'm just waiting for Nick.
Dan,
whenever he's got time.
Braden, what's the over under for how long it takes him to install? And you're not allowed to help.
I'm not allowed to help.
You're not allowed to help. I'm saying.
Well, I'm waiting for Nick.
1 month.
Yeah,
Nick tore it apart and put it back together real fast, so he knows what he's doing.
Ooh, and a micro bet, it'll happen during a stoop. Cool.
Oh, absolutely. I don't take bets that I can't guarantee.
What is it? It's called a side bet. A side bet.
So, anyways, I figured out the hard way that's why that system is made that way, because I have been popping breakers like crazy because I'm clearly going too deep on my passes, because
I have seen video of you shooting a piece of wood out of your drum sander into your garage door.
That's what happens when you bypass the regulator.
No, that was pre-bypass the regulator.
It is, but like you need to stop using your drum sander like it's a planer.
Bro, do you have any idea how much work I have to do?
No, actually,
I gotta make up that time somewhere.
Yeah, I gotta point out, Dan is how I've learned to use a lot of my bigger tools, and I frequently find myself using my drum sander as a planer. I'm like, I'm not going to change. Works for Dan, so it's going to work for me.
If it hasn't killed him,
it works until it don't.
Which literally, you're the walking proof. It works until it doesn't.
One of the things that went wrong with my drum sander is I usually use 80 grit, which is obviously more aggressive. But for some reason, I grabbed 120 grit. And I didn't even know that I had any left, and I put that on. So therefore, it wasn't taking off as much as I'm used to. So I was taking too big of a bite, and the 120 grit couldn't handle it, and that burned up the little plug that's inside the conveyor motor. So
that's why I only use grit. It's just several rocks that are just CA glued on.
So
it's all about that 36 grit.
When my ZCIs come out of the drum sander, because I cut them out on the CNC, then I resaw them out, and then I drum sand them to the exact thickness. I always use 80 grit, and I always like to sand them and make them smooth, and so they feel good, right? Because tactile is actually a big thing for any product that you sell or whatever, because if it feels gritty or nasty, people aren't going to like it, even if it's just a ZCI. Anyway, I thought I would cut time down by switching up to 120 instead of 80, the final sanding, and that was not the case. That bit me in the butt. So stick with 80, gents.
Stick with a planer, gents.
Yeah, but you can't fine tune the thickness as much with a planer.
You can't fine tune anything if you're Dan.
You wouldn't download.
Also,
a
you
planer.
get snipe. I can't deal with snipe on the back end of a ZCI.
Real
Yeah, I can't
snipe Sally, boys.
deal with snipe in the shop and on Call of Duty.
Okay,
don't-
it doesn't play that kind of game.
Yeah, I don't play that
If
game.
it's not third
Ugh.
person or has the word GTA in the title, he doesn't play it.
Yeah, I don't play those.
Oh,
I don't play those dumb games.
I think it's would that have been a parlay bet? Sorry, if it happens on the stoop, would that be a parlay or would that be a prop bet?
Prop bet. That's the word I was trying to think of. I may be wrong though. I don't gamble.
I don't either. I mean, I eat.
some of our gamblers
never-
check in and let
Yeah,
us know
yeah.
if they're.
If you're a gambler, please call.
I have no
1-800
idea what any of
gambler.
those terms mean.
I don't.
I thought
gamble
parlay was
other-
like a pirate term. Like if you
I thought it
wanted
was too. Like
you wanted
like
to parlay.
It is. Yeah, you
An
get. It's
agreement.
like safety to go talk to the captain. I remember
Yeah.
that from Pirates of the Caribbean.
That's exactly where I learned it
Parlay.
from. I know all my pirate mumbo jumbo
we-
from
we
Pirates
all.
of the Caribbean.
I think we all do. I think actually that kind of tracks. It's
The only
sad.
the only gambling that I do is Nebraska sushi in tornadoes. I
During-
go big. I'm all
During a
in, baby.
tornado.
I'm all in.
I'm all.
That's a pretty big gamble.
That's a pretty big gamble. You know what else was a big gamble, Dan? I think
Our patrons. Wait.
no, it was
They
entering
gamble every
in-
week.
It was a gamble entering in a giveaway, and I guess
True,
we should
true.
probably announce the winners of the episode 200 AWP Neststravaganza.
Yeah, let's remind
Dang.
everybody what that was about. So last week we had episode 200. We had a big giveaway. A lot of brands and companies wanted to help us celebrate 200. We had Boss Dog Wood Glue, Rockler Woodworking, Bumblechutes, Calavera Toolworks, Total Boat, even some listeners and patrons, such as Patrick Gensel, donated some stuff, and Justin from Campfire Woodworks donated some stuff. We had Surf Prep donate and CNC with me, along with obviously some AWP swag. So, with that said, let's talk about the winners.
Let's talk about
Everybody-
you and me. Let's talk about giveaways, baby.
So we announced all the winners. We did all the drawings during the pre-show. If you don't know, we do a pre-show on YouTube every Thursday at 8 p.m. Central, the 1-2 time. The winner for the Boss Dog Wood Glue package was Nick Ganelli. I hope I'm saying that right. The winner for the Rockler package was Nicholas Ruffcorn.
Personally
Great name.
delivered by Adam Barnett.
I don't
was
know if that's
unaffiliated.
true, but I'm not gonna deny it.
Also, Rough Corn is also Dan's Reddit name.
It's
Um,
in the corner of Casey's name.
The Bumblechutes package, I believe that was the Ultimate Woodworker kit,
Buzz.
is Drew Paxton.
Yoo!
The Calavera Toolworks apron, those are very, very nice aprons.
Ooh, the backless
was-
sleeveless shirt.
Josh the Dad. And that
Ooh.
name may ring some bells. He used to be a frequent caller. What happened to you, Josh the
Daddy.
Dad?
Hi, papi.
The Total Boat package, which had everything in it, like
Wait,
all
is
their
it the
stuff.
complete boat package, or is it the
It's
total
the Total Boat
Total
package. I don't
boat
think
package.
they include a boat, however. That winner was Cody Roberts.
Woo!
The Patrick Gensel EDC tray made from hardwood. The winner from that is Jason Sullivan. He's a Canadian. Sorry about your shipping costs, Patrick.
Hey.
May the leaf pole be with you. Maple leaf. I was trying to make a maple joke.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that was awful.
It was terrible. Keep
Yikes.
reading.
So Justin from Campfire Woodworks, if you are not aware, he makes super awesome, like high-end cutting board feet. He makes them out of brass, stainless steel, and now copper.
Venusian.
And
copper.
he makes short and talls of each one.
If you ever seen like
and-
a nice record player, that's what they look like.
Yeah, and they're
Yeah.
hefty. They got some heft to them.
They make
They're
for the
solid.
They make for the best feet picks.
They
Cutting board feet pics.
technically do. I hate that you're right.
Can you take pictures of those and put them on OnlyFeets or whatever that website is?
Only foots.
OnlyFoots.
But it defeats the purpose of that site.
Okay. So the winner of the Campfire Woodworks cutting board feet package is Justin Frazier
Yoo!
from I think I say his name every week. Frazier
Yes.
Canyon Woodworks.
Yeah.
The winner of the AWP swag package that includes an AWP shirt, an AWP hoodie, and a t-shirt from each one of the hosts, Pete, Braden, and myself. That is Aaron Tidwell.
Yeah,
For
Aaron.
For legal purposes, we do have to say that they are lightly used t-shirts.
Yeah, you're gonna get a t-shirt from me that has cut off sleeves.
It's just a shirt we own. It's not actually like our branded one.
I'm gonna give you this shirt that I'm currently wearing. We'll talk about this in a second.
Yeah.
It's a Patrick Gensel shirt.
You'll
winner
get like an old Macbeth shirt from me, honestly.
Oh my God.
Throwback.
Oh my goodness. The winner of this surf prep package, I believe that was a $50 gift card and
Swag.
a t-shirt, some swag. That is David Wirt of Rustic Joy Woodworks.
I know that guy. We're not in
Hey.
Kansas anymore.
And last but not least, the winner of the CNC with Me 1-year membership from CNC with Me,
The high school
made
kid
by
coming to work for
Hamilton
Dan.
Dilbeck,
Hamilton.
was Kimberly Sayenga. And we learned in the pre-show that is Adam Barnett's fiance.
Well, I
So-
need to fact check that. Emma was saying that. I'm like, well, maybe. I don't know.
Is it? Oh,
I don't know. Well, if it is Adam Barnett's fiance, we might have to take that away. Like
no, we can't do that. That
legally,
doesn't seem fair.
he can't. Legally, he can't win again.
I mean, I don't think he can win the Rockler package. That would look weird. But
I
I
don't.
think Kimberly can win that.
He won when he was on this podcast.
That's it. That's it. That's all our winners. Huge shout out and thank you to all the brands that helped sponsor the episode 200. We thank you so much. We couldn't do this without you, and we are humbled to be even associated with all those brands. So, including ourselves.
We make
Um,
heart hands.
Dan,
Heart
you
hands
missed
to
one.
them.
Who did I miss? Those are all the ones I wrote down.
There was one more winner, or two more winners actually. So
Our patrons.
nope, Dan and I, we're winners. We got a great third host.
Oh God.
He's not
Okay.
terrible. He could be worse.
Aw.
He's grape. So
I speak at
Look-
least the right language.
we're winners. We have a new co-host that actually knows how to use a microphone, so that's good.
That is helpful.
So
Hello.
he keeps leaning back like he's too cool for school.
He'll
I'm
get
trying
the
to
hang of it.
Trying to keep my
Throw
trying to keep
winners.
my easy and breezy going.
Yes, Breezy. Thank you for changing your name on Zoom.
Breeze unit.
Breeze unit. Well, speaking of Breeze units, well, I guess we should do the news.
Good news, everyone!
Braden, we had some, or you had some news to share.
I do
got
have
some
some news
news.
to share.
Maker news.
I do have some maker news to share. The Makers for St. Jude, which I think everybody is pretty much involved in and heard either through here or my former association with Sawdust Talk.
Never heard of it.
It's been a big month. So they're in the middle of their spring challenge right now, where makers are raffling things off and taking donations for St. Jude's and have their own opportunity to win up to there's $3,000 in prizes from a bunch of these different brands. As of right now, Makers for St. Jude has raised almost $11,000 this year
Whoa.
already. The goal
Wow.
is 20,000 this year. So
I think
over
they're gonna
halfway
get there.
there.
Yeah.
And almost $22,000 since starting it last year in June. So we're just about to a year and we're at 22 grand with Makers for St. Jude. Surf Prep just raffled off one of their 3x4 sanding systems and they raised over $4,500 with that
Wow.
raffle.
Wow.
So
That's awesome.
they just
That's-
announced the winner last night, but I mean that's a huge contribution.
That's more money than I've ever seen in my life.
Huge shout out to the whole maker community. That is
Yeah.
amazing.
You guys are great. That's awesome.
Stepping up.
But yeah, so if anybody wants to get involved, if you want to get involved, if you're listening, you're like, you know what, I'm gonna get up in this business. Go check out Makers for St. Jude. They're on Instagram. Mike Suter runs that whole thing, and he's a childhood cancer survivor, and he's super passionate about that whole thing. He's never actually made a dime from selling anything he's made as a woodworker. It's always been for St. Jude's.
Yeah, he gives everything back to St. Jude.
That is awesome.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
We are lucky that he is one of us.
What an absolute badass of a human. So cool. Good
Indeed.
stuff.
Yeah,
do we
if you wanna
have
get
any
involved.
other news? I have some news.
You know what? Yeah, please, because I forgot to look at my YouTube subscriptions.
Guys, and gals, it's gonna be May. Okay, so it is May, which means May for Makers has begun. If you're listening to this, it's probably May 5th if you're a patron, and 6th or 7th if you're not a patron. So you're already 7 days behind into May for Makers, and if you don't know what we're talking about,
it's every day in May.
It's every day in May. I think Braden, you said that if you hit 4 days,
I hit 4 days in a row last year, and then I just gave up. So if I hit 5 days, and I am 52 minutes away from missing that goal. So
Luke and Priscilla Smith from PL Smith have a secondary page called End They Make, where they shout out a lot of the community. They do some basically community posts about other makers in the community, and they do something called May for Makers that started in 2020 when COVID started, just for a way for people to get motivated about doing content, introduce themselves to the community. Like day one was 2 days ago, and it was basically who are you, and then like what's your, there's a lot of really good. Actually, I'll throw the link in the show notes so you guys can check it out. There's a whole post with a daily thing you want to post about. Sometimes it's here's my why, my favorite project, how I have fun, what keeps me going, like different topics. So definitely check that out. I think it's a good way to kind of get you going. I always like May hits and I'm in like I missed 3 days already, I can't post anymore. But jump in at any time whatsoever. It could be day 9 and be like, you know what, I want to join this thing. Let's do it.
Yeah, there's nobody like keeping track. You can do what you want.
And you can honestly, it's just a good way to like get your content out there. So even if it's like the end of May, or you're listening to this in June, post day 1. Post a who am I? Here's a photo of me or a video of me talking about what I do, or just a photo and the description, the comments. People want to learn about you. So use that as a jumping off point for some future content. And even if it takes you all year to post it, that's fine too. It's a good way to get kind of the creative juices flowing. So check that out. I'll throw it in the show notes if you need it. Otherwise, check out PL Smith on Instagram, or And They Make. A-N-D, They Make. Dan, you got anything else?
Nope. Did you guys hear that AWP celebrated their 200th episode last week?
That was incredible. No one thought they would make it past 1.
I've heard a lot of murmurs saying that it was the best episode since episode 175.
See a lot of mermaids?
A lot of mermaids murmuring. Mermaids.
A lot of heart murmurs.
I have a heart murmur every day.
Oh no, Dan, please check that out.
Is it a good murmur or a bad murmur? Like, is it a Mayo murmur?
The Mayo murmur.
The Mayo murmurs.
Mayo murmur.
So
Mayo heart murmurs show title. Once again, Mayo's the show title.
My goodness.
There is one more piece of news. So following May is for Makers, not the first weekend, but the second weekend in June, Surf Prep has the big maker meetup that they're doing. Hannah's been talking about it. They've got a bunch of vendors that are going to be out there. They're going to have a taco truck. So if you're near California, or you're near an airport, or a car with a big gas tank,
go
huge
hang out. Gas tank.
Where in California? Because I don't know if you know this. I'm a geography buff. So
Southern
California is a big state.
Can't prove it. It's all flat.
Southern California.
It's only like this big on the map.
It's all flat.
It's
It is flat.
near San Diego-ish,
Nearish.
betweenst LA and San Diego.
Have you seen the traffic? Nothing saint about it.
We should probably know exactly where, but I don't. Go check it out. Go check out Surf Prep and their page. They probably have the address and more details.
Yeah, go check out their page for all the details that we're missing.
Listen, we've got the news. We don't have the details. We're not MapQuest.
We're not MapQuest. Way to age yourself, old man. And then
We're not the
because none of
Yahoo
us-
front page.
Yeah, because none of us did any research. That one maker released that one YouTube video, and I thought it was worth watching. So you guys should check it out. I won't leave the video in the show notes. You just have to go out there and go
Gotta
watch
figure
some
it out.
maker videos. Yeah,
I thought it was unnecessarily callous.
watch all of them until you find one you like. That's the one. That's the one we talked about. You're welcome.
Right on.
That's how you do it, guys.
And that's called a filler content right there. That's
Yeah.
what that is.
And if you got nothing else to watch, go watch YouTube or another Witch Hub podcast on YouTube when we do the pre-show.
Please.
Don't- Yeah, please. If you missed the pre-show and you're not a patron, you're not getting the audio file. You can only watch it or listen to it on YouTube. Go check it out.
You have to look at our faces. You poor
have
souls.
to. I
Look
mean, you
at
can
them.
minimize it, but you cannot. You'll know you're listening to us. You're watching our faces.
You can feel the eyes.
You can feel the eyes bore into you. Speaking of bore,
No, not that.
I can't lean everything into patrons. But why don't we actually have some questions this week? Actually,
Ooh.
we have some questions last week because Thomas called in last week and
He snuck in a second one.
he snuck in a second one, and his question may have ended up in the junk folder.
In our defense, it was 3 separate emails.
It-
So-
yes. And also he did mention oil in his post or his
That
recording.
automatically goes to the junk folder.
Automatically goes into. And if you
I
don't
have
know
a
what we're
filter
talking
set up.
about, it's a hard wax oil that makes snapback hats fall off your head.
Hmm.
So just but anyways, let's listen to that voicemail from our favorite Frenchman, Thomas.
Hey, it's me again. You already thought I was going to ask anything? I think I have a good one. Would you rather use any wood finish you like, but you can only use the metric system, or go full imperial, but you can only use oil? Bye!
All right, so I'm gonna do my translation now.
Thank you.
As the resident foreigner here. Would you rather be able to use any finish, but you have to use metric, or to use imperial, you have to use oil? What would you? Which option do you go with?
What do I hate more?
Garfield's body wax.
It's lasagna flavored.
Man, I'm going with use metric.
What?
Yeah.
Well, Dan said metric. What? Oh my god! I am not. I don't have an air horn, but I am. I was
Only
not ready for that.
because Tomas sent me a metric tape measure.
He did send us metric tape measures. I have one as well.
He
I
made
just-
it.
There's the real show title. Dan chooses metric.
Oh, there we go.
Dan,
That's
are you
not
ready
bad.
to accept metric as your Lord and Savior?
No, we're not going to go that far.
Oh, man.
Braden.
Meters.
Braden, what about you?
Metric.
You guys are so soft. See, I wouldn't switch over to metric. Do you know why?
Because you're already there.
have.
'Cause
You're
you
I
already
already
there.
used it. That's right.
Already
Yeah, that's right.
there.
Nah, 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 nah. This is where the air horn would be great. Yeah, I already use it. I'm literally not hampered in any way. I get to use all the finishes I want and still use metric. Suck it.
like a tender country song. You're already there.
I'm already there. That's too terrible. Audios. At least we're not gonna get demonetized. But you know what? It's really, really expensive though, guys.
What's that?
Our patrons.
Our outfits?
Rick.
Connecticut.
Oh.
Good afternoon, guys. It's Randy here in Connecticut. I've been pondering this question since I've started listening to the podcast, and now that I've finally caught up, I still don't have an answer. So now I'm going to ask you guys. As we know, pine is to hardwoods as a shopsmith is to quality tools. Here are the options you have. You can use the tools you have, but you can't use hardwood. You have to use Home Depot pine. Or you can use hardwoods, but you have to use a shopsmith. You're building a desk for a child. What do you use?
The child.
Thank you. Talk to you next week.
All right, before we
A
answer this,
child.
I actually something just clicked in my brain and I can't stop laughing. At what point did this podcast turn into a bunch of drunken buddies sitting on a porch doing
Would you
Mary
rather?
Would you
Death
rather?
Kill, Would You Rathers, and like all this crap? Because I feel like once a week we get a voicemail. It's like, all right, Mary Death Kill, like Shot Smith, Festal Domino, and like Craig Jag. You know, like it's like every week it's something.
If you had
It's
to
okay.
make nunchucks out of one tool in the shop, which one would it be?
Oh my god! Well, obviously it's the two dominoes because they have the lock-in system with a power cord. Well, my answer is I'm gonna use pine and keep all my tools. Thank you very much, Dan.
No, man, give me that shopsmith.
What?
I'm taking the shopsmith 100%. Because first of all, let me defend shopsmith a little bit. They were at WorkbenchCon,
This man's
and
loyalty can be bought with a hat.
this is true. However, look, they're still making quality tools. They've updated a lot of their tools, and their machines are still pretty impressive. So, you know what? Hate on shopsmith all you want, but their tools are impressive. So, give me that shopsmith. That way, I can work with quality hardwoods anytime I want. And you're right. My loyalty can be bought with a hat. Thank you for the hat, Total Boat. Appreciate it. Braden.
I'm with Dan on this one.
Damn right.
Yeah.
Listen, okay, so here's the thing. I think that Shopsmith, actually, I know Shopsmith catches all of this flack because of they've been around forever.
They catch
And-
flack like Nickelback does. I mean,
Yeah.
people just
Well,
like
you
to hate on
keep-
Nickelback because
you keep
it's the
Nickelback
trendy
out of
thing
your
to
mouth.
do.
Shopsmith is basically the word moist. Like people just like to say that they hate it, but nobody actually really cares. They just want to feel like they've got a hot take with no real risk to themselves.
Wait,
so.
I have it. It's not Nickel. It's Smash Mouth. Shopsmith is Smash Mouth.
Everybody
I
loves
like
it,
Smash
and nobody
Mouth.
pretends not to love Smash Mouth though.
Smash Mouth should be like, hey, now it should be a national anthem. Just
Absolutely.
saying.
Wait, it's not?
It's not.
I thought
Play that
anybody.
at the start of every game. Let's go.
Yeah, I thought that was the national
All-Star. I
anthem.
called it Hey Now. All-Star.
I thought that was the national anthem for anything that Guy Fieri ever walks into.
Listen, here's the thing though. Like, I'm not crapping on Shopsmith because it's incredible the amount of versatility they shoved into that. It's a sturdy base with a really good motor, and the fact that it's got a piece that actually comes or the arbor that comes out in both directions. You can detach different things. I'm not taking that away from them. I think that's really
It's
cool.
hella impressive and it's quality
hella
made, and they're not
impressive.
paying us to say that.
No, they're not.
I've seen it in person.
I respect the hell out of it. It's one of the oldest tool institutions in the U.S. that's still in business. Listen, people are buying them. They're still in business. This thing's it's cool.
And they make great
and
hats.
they catch all this flack because people don't maintain them, they don't know how to use them, things like that. And then you get ones that are they're 60 20 30 40 I don't know, however many years old, and they've been basically neglected, and so they end up on Facebook Marketplace for
Just in Jimmy's
$50.
shop.
And I mean that's the thing. Like there's still good quality tools. There's plenty of people that restore them, and there's a pretty loyal following to them. So I'm taking the Shopsmith because I would much rather use hardwoods. I don't have time to deal with Home Depot pine. Like, I mean, unless I'm making a curved desk base, in which case, I can lean into it, but I'm not going to give up my hardwood. And I think that an important distinction here is it's a child-sized desk, which means you can't even use the table saw on the Shopsmith is so small. It's a child's desk. Like, size, it's perfect.
That's it. It's like a cutting board. Yeah.
Yeah.
And listen,
Cutting board with some lathe legs.
all I'm saying is I would get really good at staining wood. Working with pine.
See,
Real
I hate stain.
I know,
Like,
I hate stain too, but I would get
so
really
much.
good with
Oh,
it.
it
Really
shows
good.
every tiny little flaw. You
gotta
miss
use the
you miss
conditioner.
the tiniest.
You got to
of
use the
glue
pre-stain
spots.
conditioner, man.
So now I'm having to stain twice?
Pre-stain conditioner doesn't hide your glue mess ups.
Hey, I really want to get this piece of shit wood to look like walnut instead of just using walnut.
All right, just because, listen, you're correct. Technically correct, which is the best type of correct. But
It's my favorite
here's
kind.
why you're wrong. It's because Josh the dad called in.
Hey there, guys. It's Josh the Dad. Yeah, Josh the Dad, one of the big IG, coming at you with a question this week. I know. Wow. 2 weeks in a row. Look at me go. Actually, I don't have a question, but I do have a friend here that has a question. So if you don't mind, let me get them close to the mic here. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, get closer to the mic.
You mean like this?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Hi. My name is Bill, and I have a question. Have you ever given advice on this podcast? And, kind of like, hey, use pirateship.com. It'll save you lots of money. Or maybe there's is it like nerd stuff? And it'll save you lots of money. And you've given that advice to, say, family or friends, but they look at you like, what are you talking about? Have you ever done that? And how did you react? Okay, I'm done.
You're done?
Yeah, get me away.
All right. Thanks, guys. Have a great week.
The production value that goes into our listeners' questions is probably an effort that should be proactively or productively used to like cure cancer or something like that.
I mean, listen, if you have the right skills, though, like it doesn't necessarily mean you're putting in a lot of work. Like I could have a conversation with a robot right now. Ain't that right, robot? That's right, Peter. Yeah, see, he's right there. Wait, what's on your bench today? Bolts and screws. What do you think? See, it's just a robot. What do you think? So I'm just saying, with enough technology, we can do whatever we want.
I don't have a good answer for it.
I do. I mean, with the exception of I didn't give the advice on the podcast because I just started being a host here, but I did, like many other people, give the advice to Daniel Dunlap that he should use Pirate Ship. And he gave me a look like, what? I'm just going to keep printing out Etsy labels.
I tried.
And then,
listen,
and then
Dan
he did
learned about shipping not through the USPS store, like on this podcast. It was like, oh, look, I don't know, I'll see. And then went there. And then I remember getting the text be like, this is like $60 instead of $200.
No, it was. I shipped one of those. What do I call them? The mid-century modern table that I created. I shipped one of those. What I did was I took the bare table, just the finished table, to the UPS store and had them package it up and everything, and it was like $200.
Whew.
So I made very little money on that table. And
But
that's
then
when
you
I was
shipped it
like,
yourself with your own packaging, and you
right.
actually
That's
made
when
some
I was
money.
like, okay, to heck with this. If I'm gonna like lean into this, I'm gonna buy all my own packaging for these things. And yeah, that's when I learned that it was like, oh, if I do it myself and buy my own packaging, it's like $30.
So
the Pony Express has been really hosing me.
yeah. So what I will say, I'm gonna answer this question twofold. So one is, if we're just talking about like Pirate Ship, for example, or Ship Nerd, these are ridiculous names for companies. And if you recommend that to someone, especially family, like, oh, you guys need to like ship stuff semi-regularly, like use Pirate Ship. And then they just look at the site and go like, Pete's crazy. Like they're just gonna like judge you hardcore. Because this site literally looks like it's made for children. And it's gonna like rip you off. And honestly, like I lovingly call Pirate Ship the Fisher Price of shipping websites, because it's got like 5 buttons. They're green means go, and that's how I get my labels. Like it's super simple. It takes out all the bulk. Ship Nerd, you have some better rates on certain things, but like it just feels like a heavy site. So I use Pirate Ship, and there's been things that like I think it also comes from when you recommend stuff to your friends and family, and you maybe have never been known to be like the expert in that field, and now you're telling them like business advice or like how to like, hey, you should really run your SEOs through this, or like here's how you should start an Etsy shop. Let me help you. And they're like, Pete, thanks for your excitement here, but we need an adult to tell us what to do with this. It's like, well, I run a business. Like, you calm down, buddy. Like they kind of see you as that. And I think a lot of us, I did that whole the reel a while back about like, how's your little woodworking business going? Like that little when I hear little whatever business, it's disrespectful. It's a business. We work our butts off. We pay our taxes like it's a business. We have an LLC. Like, people don't seem to respect that sometimes. And sometimes you'll give them advice and they're like, that's nice. I was asking the adult in a room. Like, well, you know what? F you.
It's not a little business. It's a small business.
It's a small business. Okay.
Pirate Ship.
Braden?
At one point, I applied for like a marketing job with Pirate Ship through LinkedIn. They carry the pirate theme through their like application process too.
Oh my god.
It makes me love them even more.
And it like I rewrote my resume in pirate.
Oh, yes.
And I did not get an interview or a job.
Chat GPT to do that for you?
No, I did it by hand, old school.
Wow.
I think the problem is I didn't use parlay.
Yeah, there you go. There's your problem.
I just used the word booty a lot.
Yeah. I mean,
there's a high risk, high reward situation.
I would have hired you.
I would have leaned into booty as well. Yeah. You probably should have talked about some future technology like VR and AR.
Can we move on?
Yeah, we can.
Can we go back a little bit? We were talking about Smash Mouth a little bit ago, and I was just curious, so I looked up. They have 12 members in their band.
What?
Well, had the lead singer died this year, but
yeah. Dan, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but a lot of the bands that we grew up with and our parents grew up with have had like a dozen members at this point because they keep recycling people. Like there's several like very popular bands that have almost no original members to them. I'm pretty sure like Metallica's one of them too.
Deal with this. Can't deal with this.
I know. Yeah, Smash Mouth is one of them. I mean, it's Smash Mouth. You couldn't expect them to be that good that consistently.
And now they're Smash Denture.
Yeah, although Shrek 5 it's gonna be fire.
Shrek did slap.
Shrek 5, the Shrekening.
What are you doing in my swamp?
Podcasts are like ogres.
Speaking
They're
of
green.
Shrek, did you guys know that there is a series of like smut novels that you can buy that are Shrek based?
In the swamp or from the swamp, whatever.
Get in my swamp.
Yeah, and there's an audio version too. It was floating around Instagram.
Are there videos?
Well, it's a naughty like romance novel, but Shrek.
Yeah, it's 50 Shades of Grey, but 50 Shades of Green.
Green.
Oh God!
Because ogres have layers. It actually works.
I can't tell if you're telling
There's
the
a show
truth or
title
not.
right there. 50 Shades of Green.
Oh my God.
Hashtag Shrek smut.
The Shrekening.
We're gonna hit SEOs, but not in the way we want.
No.
This is my special room. I call it the swamp. Well,
This is my onion. Never mind.
Listen. Speaking of things that never go out of style, like Shrek or Smash Mouth, I want to give a shout out to PwnCNC. That never goes out of style. For pimping out your CNC. That's all the questions we have. We should start wrapping it up.
But yeah, we probably should. How long have we been doing this?
Hour and 20 minutes. So huge shout out to PwnCNC for being a sponsor this week and supporting our community with awesome upgrades for their CNCs to unlock the full potential of their machines.
Don't just own your CNC, dominate it.
Which is really on track with what we were talking about with the Shrek novels. They don't just own their swamp, they dominate it.
Okay.
And you know who else dominates it? Braden?
Braden, this is your big
patrons.
Our
chance. There it
patrons.
is.
There we go. You finally nailed it, buddy.
Hey, listen, if you try 100 times, at least one time you're going to get it right.
At least
So,
you tried 100 times.
That's
One of my
right.
favorite sayings is even a broken clock is right twice a day.
you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take, Michael Scott.
Wayne Gretzky.
Actually, do the shout out so I can do a quick little thing at the end.
You wanna do the patron shout out? Or you want
No,
me to
you do the
Braden?
patron shout out because you're best at it.
No, I was gonna give Braden the chance.
Oh, does he have the script?
We don't know if
don't-
I'm the
don't-
best.
I don't have the script. How about you do it?
I don't
Dan?
have a script. This all comes from the hip, bubba.
Ooh.
We want to give a big shout out to all of our patrons. You help us keep this ship afloat, like I said before. The ship being, this is a pirate ship. This is a what do they call pirate ships?
A galleon.
We are the parlay of podcasts.
I was trying to work parlay in there somehow.
You are the hidden booty of AWP.
We are
there
the
it
hidden
is.
booty of Apple Podcasts and Spotify podcasts. Shopify podcasts.
You're the
Anyway,
real,
Shopify.
you're the real peg legs propping this thing up.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
All right, so big shout out to our patrons. Let's wrap this up before it gets too much more awkward. If you want to help us out in the patronage world, you can go over to patreon.com/anotherwoodshop podcast. Help us out over there. Or, if you choose not to help us financially, you could always share the show by word of mouth in your social media apps.
Yeah, it's great. For listening.
You could also rent a carrier pigeon, I guess.
Good idea. Yeah.
A
Ooh.
blimp.
Modern
do they still
solutions.
do
Oh, I
blimps?
like that. Yep.
We
They
definitely want to be
do-
in your MySpace top 8.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Top
Absolutely.
7 because
MySpace
Tom's always
is
in there.
probably
going
going to make a comeback because TikTok is going to get banned. So MySpace
Actually,
is coming back almost 100%.
Vine is coming back, guys. Vine is coming back.
Actually, I'd be okay with that.
Yeah.
Vine was pretty
Square format. Am I right?
great. Just share the show wherever you can. We would appreciate it. And also, you know what? We haven't called for this in a while. Maybe drop us a review or two.
Leave us a review. And if you did recently, we haven't checked. We've just asked for them. So we'll read them off if we have some good ones on there.
Yeah, we probably should check. We haven't checked in a while.
And
The
if
more
you
ridic-
want a one-of-a-kind experience with 1/3 of this podcast's members, you can meet us in person, and by us I mean just me, at the Fat Guy Hockey Game, the musical on ice.
Hosted
That is
by
the Jack-
Jackman.
Yep, the Jackman and Total Boat collab where they're doing another hockey game like they did last year. They're doing another one on May 18th. It's going to be on Cape Cod. If you want all the details, check out Jackman's page. And you get to meet 1/3 of the entire crew of AWP.
You don't know. Braden and I might show up. You don't know that.
You might. And if you did,
No, we won't.
bussin',
I guarantee it.
bussin', as our newest co-host would
May
say.
18th. Yeah, I won't be there.
You should be, Dan.
Biggity flame. No, Dan is priorly engaged on May 18th.
This is accurate. Yes.
Is it your vendor event?
We have a craft show to go to.
All right, I'll add it. It's also
I've been
Armed
working on
Forces
new
Day,
craft
so
show
thank you for your
items, so-
services.
What's that, Dan?
Yes, sir. I've been working on new craft show items.
Perfect.
Now I just need to actually make them, though. That's the thing. Anyway, I think that's it. I think that's a
Ooh.
wrap.
One other thing.
Uh-oh, it's not a wrap. Just kidding.
Unwrap it.
May 6th is Emma's birthday, so go and hit her up and send her well wishes or just troll her. It'll and she's probably listening
Oh,
to this.
yeah.
So happy birthday, baby.
If you want,
Happy
if,
birthday, baby.
Happy
if you want to give Emma the
anniversary
best,
of 25 again.
if you want to give Emma the best birthday present possible, leave us a review.
Oh, she would love
She
that.
loves those.
She's
No,
actually
no,
our
no, no,
admin
no,
for the
no.
podcast.
Join the Patreon.
Also join the
She
patrons.
handles the Patreon as well, so she'll see it and then she'll be like, "Oh, that's for me this week."
Yeah,
That's great.
join our patronage and drop a message directly to Emma right there. That's how you do that.
Yep.
All right. This is a wrap for reals.
And
For
also,
realios. Oh
okay,
gosh,
that's,
come
no,
on.
that's all I have. Oh, actually, no, Dan.
What's on your bench?
No, Dan. No, we forgot one segment.
What? Oh, whoops.
I want to give a shout out to Malcolm for my Woodfluencer shirt.
Ooh, I
What are
love my
you
Woodfluencer
wearing? The
shirt.
Yeah,
Woodfluencer
Woodfluencer
shirt?
shirt is fire. And Dan, you have a shirt that I also have downstairs, but I haven't done a story on yet.
Yes. The fine folks over at Stubby K Studio, that'd be Max and Mindy and Charlie Coons. They sent out t-shirts to Pete and I, and not Braden because they don't like him. And it lovingly says openly gray. So if you're watching the video and if I put my microphone just right, it looks like something else, but I assure you it says gray.
Yeah,
Oh,
you should
Openly
probably.
gray.
Hey.
Openly gray. It's
Shout
a
out
great
to you
shirt.
guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
guys. Appreciate it. Love it.
That is
Oh,
all.
they also sent one to my wife, actually.
Oh.
I hate to break it to you.
I-
Emma probably has one in there too.
Emma
so-
has one in there. I haven't opened it. It's funny, we were having an argument in the beginning, like who sent the shirt. Like, well, it was clearly it was not the husband, it was the wife. Like, let's be real, it was packaged way too nice. No
Oh, it was
guy
packaged
would
super
package
nice.
it so nicely. And I like, when as soon as we unboxed it, I'm like, we have to do it like a story on this. But me and Emma haven't gotten in a shop at the same time yet. So
Oh, my wife is like, I'm trying to hide my gray. I'm not open about it. She's like, I'll wear it to bed. I'm like, okay.
no, wear it in a shop.
My wife
Sanding.
is not openly gray. She's not happy about the
Have
gray.
her sand in a shop, some MDF, she'll love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways,
That's
love y'all. Bye.
Bye bye. Love you long time.
Bye-bye.
Miss you already.
Okay, bye.